I'm talking about Unist, Seth. Unist, Seth.
Under Night. All right, so what are we talking about now? We could talk about the Summit of Power.
We could talk about the current results, but some people have mentioned to us on social media that they would like to have us talk about the voting system.
I think that is a good thing to do. Yeah. So for the voting, I was just looking it up. Top 2 players invited, bottom 2 players eliminated. Coming up are, looks like Moke and Supernoon are at risk for elimination.
Okay.
And
who are the ones that have qualified?
So the Kill Sage is definitely in. Lord Knight is in. Cloud 805 is in.
Okay.
And then you got Yohozi and Beyond Toxin in current first and second places for the next one in there.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
so already eliminated include Kizzy K, King Blue River, Record Dave, Doza, White Black, Timo, Lost Soul. You know, there's some good players who are already gone. So.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people wanted us to talk about this a little bit because of what happened in the last stage of voting, which was the Kill Sage was not in first place at that time. Cloud 805 was already in. This was the second stage, if I'm not mistaken. And he was not in first place. But then, look, I've been a full praiser of sniping in eBay.
Right.
For this very reason.
Right.
This is exactly why sniping in eBay works and why 100% you should always snipe.
Right.
If you do not snipe in eBay, you are doing eBay incorrectly.
It's the wrong game.
Yeah,
you're playing the game wrong.
Absolutely doing everything wrong because nobody ever puts in the true amount of money that they're actually willing to spend. Because if they put in $60 and then they're outbid, they're like, 65, and then they're outbid, 70. So nobody actually puts in what they're actually willing to spend. So you wait until the last second so you don't give people a chance to actually put in what they want to spend, right? And that's exactly what's happening with the Summit of Power here. Yeah. So the Kill Sage was not in first place. The people who were in first place were probably feeling comfortable. Then all of a sudden at the very last second, Sonic Fox is like, ooh, right? Slid a bunch of cash in there.
Well, we should discuss how the votes actually are done.
Okay, go ahead.
So 15 votes for subscribing to Beyond the Summit. Beyond that, 5 votes for your first purchase of items on their shop. 2 votes for every $1 spent. Extra 25 votes per every $50 spent. And there you go. So it's you get a certain amount of votes just for like subscribing and being there.
Right.
But beyond that, if you want to vote, you got to spend the dough. You have to buy stuff.
And Sonic Fox did that.
And he did that to the tune of, what was it?
1,500
$1,500, something like that.
Yeah, it was like $1,500. So
yeah.
So
$1,250.
Again, I'm not super opposed to this system of voting.
The things you can get are like a little Beyond the Summit wristband. You can get some sunglasses. You can get a hat. You can get some shirts. Looks like there's a poster there, some hoodies. Attend the Summit of Power. You know, a signed Summit of Power trophy. So there's stuff. It's not like they're just selling like IOUs or something. Like that you get things.
It's not redemption prizes.
It's not redemption prizes, no.
How many tickets can dude, I worked at the UCLA arcade one time and some kid walked up to me with like 500 tickets or something, and it was like 2 tickets for a lollipop or something like that.
Okay.
And he looked at all the prizes like, can I just get 250 lollipops?
Genius.
And I was like, holy crap. And so basically I had to sit there and count out.
That's like, what a genius kid.
Dude, that made his prize last a long
way smarter than
Uh-huh.
getting like the little novelty eraser that you affix to the end of your pencil. Remember those things?
Yeah. Who uses pencils anymore? Jesus.
Yeah, is that a dated reference?
Yeah, probably. I don't even know if people know about those things anymore.
Do pencils exist nowadays? I don't know.
Yeah. But like, again, I'm not opposed to the voting system because when it comes to cold hard cash, it's the hardest way to fake because it's an actual resource that people don't want to give up.
Yeah.
You know, through any other system, like, hey, limit it to 1 per email, 1 vote per email. Well, I can easily forge a bunch of emails on Google and then set a bunch of... It's the same thing that happened with the Evo drives, right? A lot of people were like, I hate the Evo drives. They shouldn't do it by money. They should do it a different way. And I'm like, all right, how should they do it? And they're like, do it like this. I'm like, it's not going to work because of this. And they're like, okay, well, do it like this. Not going to work because of this. And they're like, well, They should just do it that way because like nobody could say what the better way to do it was. And so I don't think that there was necessarily a better way to do the Summit of Power voting without doing cash, and it helps fund their event, et cetera, et cetera.
I'm sure that's the bigger reason.
Right, that's the bigger reason. I mean, because the EVO one, they even just donated it to charity, right? So they didn't even have it help their event. However, at least this, because like 2 EVO votes ago, you know, Smash Brothers did the same thing. Last second, here's a bunch of money. We beat Skullgirls. Woo! Right. Didn't give Skullgirls any time to respond to that. The last voting, I was more okay with because EVO put in a specific policy that they would be very keen to look out for company donations. Like NRS couldn't just be like, here's $10,000 for Mortal Kombat, right? Honestly, I think that there should have been something in the Summit of Power that prevented like teammates or that kind of thing happening. You know what I mean? I don't know. Like, I don't know what the right, again, I don't even know what the right answer is, right?
You know, I really feel that it's just about money primarily. There's probably some degree where it's about trying to find people, trying to find a way to prevent fraud. Saying fraud sounds so silly in this instance that I don't even know if I can take that seriously. Like, oh, somebody wants to vote for their boy 5 times. Like which system do you think is more abusable? The one where you have to go through the process, not more abusable, more likely to be abused.
Okay.
This one where moneybags can come in and get whoever they want in there, or one where you have to you do have to create 30 email addresses. Like, you can do that, but I suspect that money is probably more abusable than more likely to be abused than that system.
Well, the biggest concern for that is that it's abusable by only a very few select people too.
For money.
Right. Yeah. So it just depends. You basically have turned it so the people who have the money are the ones who get to decide. Exactly right. Right. So it is an issue.
Yeah.
It is an issue.
I mean, I don't like it. I think it sucks. I also think that it really reminds me of those websites that where you bid on things, but they're non-refundable bids. So you look at like a TV is like $10, right? So you bid, cool, $10 for a TV. That sounds super cheap. You pay $10. That $10 is now lost. And when somebody then bids $11, they are giving that $11 to the site also regardless. Somebody else comes in and gives $12. Like, that's how these sites work.
I didn't know that's because I've seen those commercials. They're like, I got this TV for only, $47.
Exactly. Which is real for them. That actually, the TV, but who knows how much money they spent otherwise.
Getting in,
like,
or how
did they spend 30, 32, 34, 36, 38? Did they spend all of that money getting there?
And not only that, but how many people ended up paying for getting nothing?
Exactly. A lot. Almost everybody.
Dude, I had no idea that's how that works.
They're basically big scams.
Okay.
I mean, if you find the right thing, then it can be useful for you, but they're basically scams. That's kind of what it reminds me of. You're spending money to support. I mean, maybe you really want a hat or whatever, but barring that, you're spending money to pay to get your friend in there or somebody you like to watch in there. And your say in it is very small compared to Sonic Fox putting in $12.50. Like, you might as well not have bothered.
Right.
So that if it were just you put an email in, but somebody else did the work to create and send 30 emails, I don't feel like I've lost that much. My email didn't work out, but if I instead put like $50 in, let's get my dude in there. Now I feel like, wow, I wasted $50.
Right.
That could have been a video game or whatever. So,
I mean, to be fair, creating 30 emails and doing that is also kind of a have not kind of thing, because there are definitely people who could do that in like 5 minutes just through automation.
Fair enough.
I mean, they could just run an automation overnight and it's just be like, hey, all of a sudden there's like 10,000 votes in there, right? So,
ABCD, send an email, ABCDE, send an email, right?
Like, exactly.
But,
GUID generator at yahoo.com, boom.
Right.
Go.
But that said, the person who just sent one email, they're out the 2 minutes of an email and not so
exactly. They didn't lose anything.
I'm not super happy with it. I know that this is something that the Smash scene has been talking about for a while because that's how it goes.
Because they've been doing it for their Beyond the Summit for a long time, right?
Yeah. So I'm a little worried about it. I really wish that maybe there were caps on what you could spend, I'm it's a business. I get it. You wanted money. Okay,
yeah, but if you put caps on there, I mean, caps limited to what? Emails? Then we're back to that again.
No, maybe money, but maybe the cap is $50 or $100.
Well, that's what I mean. But what's the limit? How do you know that it's not the same person?
They have two.
Yeah,
they have two credit cards or something.
Right.
I guess.
So that's the problem, right?
It adds a barrier to nonsense. Maybe not a huge barrier, but there's a barrier at least.
Yeah.
And it's not only financial anymore. So that's my concern. That said, within the context of the system, hey, spend your cash if you got it. I mean, that's how it is.
If you're Sonic Fox and you've already made $500,000 on video games, if you can afford $1,000
for this is a rounding error for you,
right? And to give back to your community in the way that you want it, because he could just be a fan too with the ton of money.
Definitely is,
right? And he's like, hey, Tequila Sage is my friend.
Yeah,
I really want to see him in there.
Yeah. So I don't love it, but more accurately, I think it sucks. But I would like to see it changed. But the current system is the system it is, and that's like legal within it. But I would much rather see the system changed.
Right.
Yeah. For the future.
But as it stands right now, we have 3 people who are officially in. You said
voted in are Tequila Sage. Looks like Lord Knight, so this is official now, and Cloud 805.
Okay, so those 3 are in, and there's 4 left.
4 left.
And how many make it in?
2.
So 2 make it in and 2 go out. Then.
So, correct.
So right now it seems like the NRS community is really supporting Beyond Toxin.
So here are the vote tallies. With 12,036 is Yohosi, first place. 11,578, not far behind, is Beyond Toxin. 10,996, not very far behind at all, is Pono Smoke.
Okay.
And then 4th place is Super Noon at 7,195. So unless he's holding out for the big old eBay snipe, he might not make it.
Oh, that makes me sad. Super Noon is really, really wish the guy that I would love to get in there, obviously. So Super Noon, I think, because I'm glad Cloud 805 made it. Right,
sure.
So we got one SoCal representative in there, but I just feel like Super Noon has been doing so well.
Yes.
He's just not as well known as a lot of the other players.
Yeah.
Cloud 805 much more known.
Sure, he's been around for longer.
Hosie's been doing a great job with online content, so she's gotten a lot of DBFZ followers and such. Beyond Toxin has the whole NRS community behind him at this point in time,
and has been getting 3rd and 4th place.
Right, exactly. So
the 10 invited players, people who are already definitely going to be there: Nakil, Chris G, Hook Gang God, Goichi, Apology Man, Kazunoko, Dogura, Reynold, Sonic Fox, and Leffen. So those are good players.
None of those people anyone's going to complain about.
Of course.
Those guys all deserve to be in there. So 2 of them weren't invited. 2 of them they qualified. Hook Gang God and Reynold. Yeah. And dude, I'm so happy about Reynold being there. So that's another SoCal rep. So that's good there too.
Yeah, man. No, it's definitely going to be a good event.
And again, just looking at that list right there that you said, that's kind of one of the reasons why Beyond Toxin I feel like kind of has to make it, because then we would have an NRS representative in there. Because we already have representatives from all the other games. We've got the Smash Brothers rep. We've got all the, again, Dragon Ball doing a great job uniting people from all sorts of different communities. Man. So
it definitely does that well.
KOF Reynolds, yep.
That guy. He's just a really strong player at fighting games in general. Dude, I played him in SF4 sometimes. He's really good.
Remember, he was one of the best at a Rising Thunder.
He was really good at Rising Thunder, for sure. Yeah, and he's a talented player.
Sonic Fox is barely NRS, dude. Sonic Fox is just everything.
Man. Yeah, that's.
He's like Chris G.
He's like Chris
those
G.
2, you can't really say they come from any
Chris
particular
G's first top 8 at Evo was NRS.
That's right.
It was MK9. But nobody thinks of him like that because he's been so good. Not at MK9 and Injustice 1, but then also at Street Fighter, Marvel, everything. He's won everything.
So. Right. Exactly. So there you go.
It's the same way.
Yeah, Chris G. Yeah, some people would call him Marvel at this point.
Would you? I guess.
That's what people would mistakenly do. Yeah. I just don't think that's the right choice, to be honest.
He won 3rd Strike Major with 12 recently.
Wasn't that the one that he beat Sanchez in?
It was the one he beat Sanchez in.
Okay,
Yeah. Wow, it was tough to watch. Anything else to talk about on this subject? I should say that voting ends at 2 p.m. on the 16th, which is in our time tomorrow. 2 p.m. Pacific time. So yeah, that's our time is the time that matters. It's going to be 2 p.m. Pacific time.
Okay. Which day? Tomorrow it ends, huh?
I don't care where you're living. I'm talking about tomorrow in relevant time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, I feel bad for Supernoon though. I mean, unless someone's gonna snipe, unless like Snake Tits is like, here you go.
Right. Yeah.
I don't think we have a Sonic Fox here in SoCal, do we?
We'll see.
Oh man.
All right. Well.
DR Snake Tits might be the closest thing. He is a doctor, right? I think he is.
I don't know.
I'm not sure, but okay. All right. No, I mean honestly, if you guys don't know anything about sniping and eBay and stuff like that, and I've had to talk to people about it plenty of times. They're like, I don't snipe. That's useless. And I'm like, dude, let me explain to you.
Dang.
Like, if you ever have used eBay and you do not snipe, you are an idiot. I will explain to you exactly how sniping works if you ever need me to. So, well, what's going on?
I'm trying to read this snipe chat. Wow, look at Lord Knight. So Lord Knight.
Oh, he got sniped benefit too?
He benefit, yes.
Yes.
With 30 seconds to go, with more than 30 seconds to go, he was in 7th place with 3,427 votes. He then won that section, or he qualified, I should say, with 13,513 votes. He got more than almost 10,000 votes in the final half minute.
Yo.
Dang!
Ooh. Yeah, I'm looking at this right now. Dang.
Dang!
Huh.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, that's the other problem too.
That is wild.
The sniping thing is not cool too, so.
People, you know,
what's that?
Different people use their money in very different ways.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'd like to buy a house someday, but
yeah, where 10K? That is a.
What was it? It was, let's see, 10K and how many? So for every 25 votes, for every $50 you get 25 extra votes. Well, we could do this math, but you know, that's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Where did that come from? That's so crazy.
I don't know.
Kizzy got knocked out at the last minute too.
Oh,
yeah.
Is that what happened on this? Let's see.
Oh,
that's not on
this
chart.
This one.
Yeah. Zoinks!
Yep, that's the way it works, dude. That's the way it works. So, you know, again, voting with money is one thing, but then because voting with money is a limited resource, people are scared to put that money in there in the first place. And so, like, for example, like, I want Supernoon in there. I haven't donated to Supernoon, right? Like, that's just how it works when it comes to cash, right?
Yeah.
That's the problem. So I can only do what I can and go, vote Supernoon, but I don't think that's...
All right.
Unless he's hovering down there because he's got the snipe ready to go too. But
precedent.
see, now the problem is everyone's going to be scared of the snipe. So is everybody going to snipe? And now it's just like it's just going to be like this crazy.
I don't know. I don't know. We'll find out by 2 p.m. tomorrow, relevant time.
Yep.
Okay, that's it about that, I guess.
Yep.
You want to talk about a couple other things that have been announced?
Yep. A couple of new events talked about. I guess you will talk. You want to talk about the Smash one? Or?
Sure, up to you.
Okay. Obviously, they announced that there's going to be a new version of Smash Brothers coming out for the Nintendo Switch.
There's going to be a version of Smash Brothers coming out for the Nintendo Switch.
Where we're not all 100% sure.
It may be new.
Right, exactly. But, I mean...
It's new. I don't have knowledge on that.
Oh, okay.
No, come on.
Yeah,
Nintendo called me up and they were, no.
Yeah, I know, right? Reggie Fees on me was like, hey, David.
Hey, David.
He's like, hey, Ultra David.
Oh, hey, buddy. No, I don't know. But obviously it seems like it's new.
Yeah. I would, at this point in time, I've kind of pretty much confident that it's going to be new. They've announced that they were going to do an exhibition at E3, but they just announced the 8 players who are going to be involved in this.
Yes.
And it's a pretty exciting list.
It's a great list.
Because last time when they did the invitation, there was a mix between top players and some personalities, et cetera, et cetera. But this time they were just like, Nope. Top
Make
players.
it good.
That's it.
Okay, so you got MK Leo, you got Zero, Armada, Abadongo, Plup, Mr. R, Lucky, and Mango.
I mean, it's what
Mango he's got quite the look going for himself these days.
only 3 U.S. players.
Yeah.
Everybody else is from everywhere else, and that's really cool.
Well, a couple more of those guys live in the U.S.
Well, yeah,
now,
Zero
but-
lives here now. Yeah. So MK Leo, does he live here?
I think he lives in the U.S.,
okay,
but I can't.
yeah.
I'm not sure, to be honest.
But I think it's cool because I was really pleasantly surprised to see them invite Abadongo over.
Yeah, that's
I
awesome.
was super happy about that. So I think that's a great list of players in there. I think we've got a good set of players here, and I'm excited for that.
So you mentioned the regionality of it, which is definitely great. On top of that, it's players from both Smash 4 and Melee. So it's both of the major scenes that are represented. So I mean, they're clearly, in my view, they're clearly trying to get as many Smash players and fans to pay attention to this as possible. Which you wouldn't if you only had Smash 4 players. Some Melee players would be like, eh. If you only had Melee players, Smash 4 players would be like, why? You know.
Right.
But they got both, and so I feel like they're trying to reach out to both sides, which I hope is also mirrored in the gameplay. So that it's not just going to appeal to sort of post Melee Smash, just a little bit slower, Brawl and Smash 4 a little bit slower, but that there's like a kind of mix that's appeals to everybody.
Can I piss off all the Smash players?
Let me eat tacos.
Let me piss off all the Smash players right now. I'm so hopeful for this Switch version coming out to be fast, to appeal to a lot of the Melee players, to put in a lot of the tech stuff back in there, like the wave dashing and all that stuff like that.
Okay.
So that we can have Smash Switch be at EVO, and that's it. I want Smash Switch to be good enough that all the players will unite into that game.
Wow.
So we can have one Smash game at EVO and free up some space for some other games. I think that would be awesome if we can unite them all together for that. I think it would be cool that way, you know? Because I think if it's good, like, it would replace Smash Wii U probably.
I feel like everybody thinks...
Melee? But Melee doesn't even have a lot of high entry numbers anymore these days, you know, compared to what it used to be at some events. Like, I know, like, at Combo Breaker, it's, like, towards the bottom.
I don't think it was ever huge there, was it?
Yeah, I guess that's true. But I think that would...
Well, I mean, it would be nice to have a game that everybody could play, but...
Right, exactly.
That just doesn't seem likely to me. And I think that Melee players... I mean, look, I love Super Turbo and Third Strike. I also really liked SF4 and 5. I liked SF4 and I really liked SF5. There are, just because a game comes out that is new and also good doesn't mean the players of previous games will drop their game.
Right, yeah, for sure. But those games did get dropped from the tournament. Right? It just happens. And so, like...
Well, I mean, we got, there's 100 players plus that's ST for Combo Breaker.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not nothing. It's obviously it's not like Melee, but
I mean, this is Year of Anime, because there's 164 players for Unist at Combo Breaker. Let's go!
Awesome.
But, I mean, come on. If we had one Smash game, that means next year we'd have that much room for even one more anime game.
Yeah, that's right. From what I've read and talked with people about, it seems like everybody's expecting Smash 4 to just go bye-bye.
Right.
I mean, that's what I'm no expert. I'm not super deep in the scene, but from what I've been reading on Twitter and the like, it seems like that's the case. When people are like looking forward to playing whatever the next game is. People who maybe played Brawl, now they're playing Smash 4, they're not playing Brawl anymore. Maybe they'll play Smash 5. Whereas Melee people they're Melee players. They're not... Like, you know how some people are Mortal Kombat players and some people are NRS players?
Yeah.
Some people just drop out entirely for Injustice. Right. They're MK players. I feel like there's a sizable group of folks in Smash who are just Melee players. They're not necessarily Smash.
Yeah, I mean, I do hope that some of the players come through. Like, for example, Mewtwo King will probably end up playing the new one, right?
He's played every game.
But, like, it would be cool if, like, Leffen and Armada showed up.
Awesome.
You know, I don't know if, like, Mango would transfer over or something like that. I mean, he definitely would be capable of it.
I'm sure he's got talent, no doubt.
So it'd be really, really cool if we could just get a Smash game to unify them, you know, in a lot of ways. And yeah, Sakurai obviously has a history of, like, no, you know, for fun, for glory kind of thing and all this stuff like that. But Nintendo does feel like they're doing a bigger push for esports now, right? With Splatoon, there have been a few Splatoon championships. It hasn't been crazy, but Melee is probably their best potential with that, right? And so
ARMS, they've done things
ARMS with, right, exactly. So if they create this game with the contract stuff as well to allow for the esports, right? So, for example, if you allow your guest character in our game, we can also have him be at events and represented and all that stuff like that, right? If they do that right, this game could really like take over everything. You know what I mean? This could be like one of the biggest things ever if Nintendo supports it. And, you know, look, Nintendo is Nintendo, right? We're not getting a Street Fighter V release for the new Smash Brothers. It's going to be high quality. It's going to have all the one-player features. It's going to have all that stuff in there, right? I mean, look, everybody knows Street Fighter V came out and was like, what happened?
Remember when they installed a rootkit on people's computers?
Like, that's just the thing. If Smash Brothers Switch came out and was done right and was really pushed by Nintendo for esports, it could be basically the biggest thing in the FGC.
Sure.
Like, absolutely the biggest thing in the FGC. So
why not?
You know?
I think it's big, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to checking it out. I'd like to go.
Dude, it's so frustrating. You went that last time, right? I remember you had the poster with
I did. I was super hyped for Little Mac.
That's right, yeah. But like, you know, it's always, like, there's always that one roadblock. What if Sakurai was Harada? You know what I mean? Like, what if Harada was in charge of Smash Brothers, and then everything would just be like, oh, man.
What are you gonna do, man?
Ugh. It's always one thing, dude. It's always one thing.
You know, that's how it goes. But yeah, I'd love to go see it. It's gonna be at E3, which is in June. 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I think it's the first week of June. No, it's the second week of June. So it will take place on June 11th.
Okay. Cool. There you go. June 11th is what day of the week?
Monday.
It's a Monday. Ooh, okay.
Well, that's E3. Yeah.
It's going to be because E3 is usually Tuesday through Thursday, right?
The finals will be on Tuesday. No, E3 like the conferences nowadays are starting at like Monday and stuff.
You're right. So, okay.
So that's that. But then that's not the only interesting new tournament series coming up. There's also going to be the Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Tournament Series, which will feature tournaments for Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, and Street Fighter Alpha 3, period, comma, according to Shoryuken.com.
Yes, I see. I'm excited for this. It's going to be, what, at CEO, SCR?
So ST will be played at CEO, June 29th to July 1st. Alpha 3 will be at SoCal Regionals, which is Ontario, California, September 14th to 16th. And then Third Strike will be at Canada Cup in Toronto, October 26th to 28th.
It's a mistake.
Dude, as soon as I saw this, I really thought that they should have switched up the order.
Well, they should put ST at Canada Cup.
Absolutely.
Because Tournament of Legends is already going to be there.
I'm 100%
All the Japanese players are going to be over there. And in fact, CEO is on East Coast. And I think there's a lot more of the Third Strike players still active on the East Coast.
For sure.
So,
yeah, no, I as soon as I saw, I absolutely agree with you. But that's what the announcement is.
Yes.
So, I mean, I think that's pretty sick, to be honest. I wish that it was more, that there was more going on, but
7,000 pop bonus for each of the games.
It's great. It's awesome.
Right. And, I mean, this could be a test as well. So, please sign up for these things. Sure. Even if you have a passing interest to play, sign up for these things. Show the support for these old games, because then maybe Capcom, because, I mean, it would be super sick if CPT had these other Street Fighter games as side events.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, every CPT event had, here's Street Fighter 5, and here's Alpha 3, and Super Turbo, and Third Strike. Because, although, to be honest, and you know me, I love Alpha 3 much more than I love Alpha 2.
Sure.
I really do wish it was backwards. I really do think that Alpha 2 probably deserved the online and stuff more than Alpha 3.
I'm with you.
Because as much as I love Alpha 3, as much as I love everything about Alpha 3 and everything they did, crouch cancel, infinites, we're going to see Vega jumping back and forth doing jumping short for 99 seconds.
Yeah, Viscan already posted on Twitter that he's going to bring out V Vega, and he hopes to time everybody out.
Yep, exactly. So, but you know, ST, Third Strike, obviously super excited for those games. Those games have always been super popular. And Third Strike, the biggest problem for that game's never had a good home version. Right. Never had a good home version. I'm confident in this one because everything I tested at final round seemed really good. Again, maybe I might be putting in too much faith into Digital Eclipse and, you know, the one of the heads, Frank Cafaldi, and his mindset and all that stuff like that. Yeah. But everything I tested felt super accurate. Chun-Li's low forward had the biggest cancel window, like the arcade version. It even felt like Ken's low forward had a slightly larger cancel window.
Well, it's a little bit slower.
Right. Oh, is that what it is?
The arcade speed is a little bit slower than PlayStation.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Dude, I would love a hyper fighting tournament too.
That'd be great.
Hyper fighting, people don't know. Like Super Turbo hyper fighting.
Very different.
Right? Like I would say more different than even Melee and Smash Wii U, but you know.
I don't know. I'm not sure about that.
That's kind of my biased viewpoint. Yeah. But I mean, there is some craziness going on in hyper fighting.
Oh yeah, Ken does jump in Fierce Dragon Punch. Fierce jab Dragon Punch, that's the end of the round.
Yeah, you're dead.
Don't throw a fireball opening round against Ken. Oh boy.
Dude, I forgot. I was talking to somebody else, right?
By the way, that combo stuns and then he just does a jump in combo and that's full life.
Yeah, you're dead basically. If he uppercuts you once with jab uppercut and you eat meaty crouching short, you're dead. That's game is over basically.
Uppercut plus anything.
Yeah. And dude, I still remember too, someone was like, oh, like I was messing around with hyper fighting. I saw the old Shoto's Tatsus in the air went horizontal. It's like, oh, that must have sucked. No wonder they changed it to the bed. I was like, what? Wait, what?
Opposite.
Can air light Tatsu change your jump arc, land at a different timing?
Amazing.
Oh my god.
Yeah, land and recover instantly and have a tiny hurt box as you're landing, as you're falling. Yeah,
and then use Ken Jump Fierce to blow up, wake up Sagat Tiger uppercut into air Tatsu, guaranteed stun. Oh my god. Oh my god, dude. I'm not SNES. Hyper fighting is just like
it's unforgiving.
It's the most broken game ever.
Unforgiving.
Like literally round one, fight Balrog, charge pow, fierce pow, you're stunned. Yeah. That's okay.
Yeah.
Oh man, that game was
wild.
The game was so fun, dude.
It is fun. That's my favorite boxer for sure.
Dude, I mean, look, Yosh, for sure, if I played hyper fighting, Alpha 3, I'm not going to be as good at because Alpha 3, I do not have that game burned into my hands. Yeah. Not only that, but high level Alpha 3, when I was playing it at the height, is not high level Alpha 3 now. Fightcade Alpha 3 is a whole different game. People have started doing all sorts of crazy things in that game. And but for hyper fighting, I mean, I can always fall back on the fact that I'm using Zangief, who's going to die to some characters, but he's still super good.
He's good, yeah.
And Super Turbo, of course, I use Cammy, not very good, but in those two games, I will still body most people.
Of course, yeah, and you do whenever we go to events.
Yeah, I know. I will not have any problem. I will not be having any problem being good at those games. I'll tell you right now, dude. God, Zangief is so fun in hyper fighting.
He is fun in hyper fighting.
It's the most fun Zangief has ever been, and he doesn't have a green hand in that game.
Yeah, I think I agree. So. That game has my favorite Zangief, I think, and my favorite boxer.
Yeah.
That boxer is super fun.
He's
such a bulldog, but it's like in an interesting way. In ST, I feel he's kind of brainless a lot of the times, but in hyper fighting. You really have to place things well, but if you do, he's good.
Right?
It's just like you gotta really hold on to your turnaround punches correctly.
Dude, freaking ST Balrog low rush is like +8.
Plus on block, yeah. That into stand fierce. And
that into jump is like the scariest thing ever. And then they gave him the most invincible wake up out of every character in the game.
Safe.
Like, what the hell were they thinking? He'd be super good in that game if he didn't have that headbutt.
That's true. Yeah.
Right? Like, honestly, that's what makes hyper fighting Balrog so interesting.
Yes.
Because, like, sometimes the Shotos, their best course of action to kill Balrog is jump, medium, kick, throw. Right. Jump, medium, kick, throw. Jump, medium, kick, walk up, low forward, uppercut. You know, like they just bullied him that way. Yeah. Because
they had to pressure him because they could not zone it.
Right, and Balrog was literally the epitome of offense versus bad defense. Like he was that character.
Dude, it's the same reason why I like Dictator and Super Turbo.
Yeah,
same reason.
Same exact character. So there you go.
Anyway, these events will be occurring, and I'm really excited. I hope that they get stream time. I hope that they get big entry numbers. it would be super cool if we saw them at Capcom Cup. But even just them doing this is already pretty sweet.
Well, even just on a CPT basis, like if they had them, brought them to all the events.
Oh, all of them. Oh, that'd be so cool.
Maybe not even the ranking events, maybe only the premier events or something like that, but I think that would be super cool.
Super awesome, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Alrighty.
So yeah, new events for old games, but it is still a new event.
Yeah.
So there you go.
One of the events we talked about was for a new game, we believe. Watch, it's for Melee HD.
God, actually, you know, I would be almost just as hyped for a Melee HD if they came out with one and then added a couple of characters to it.
Yeah,
like I would actually be just as hyped because then we could just get everyone. Then everybody would just there you go.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
That's
like,
true.
hey, cheers Melee HD. Let's add some Inklings to this. Let's add Sonic and Pac-Man and let's go. So.
All right, well, I think that's it for new stuff.
Yeah, oh, that's true. Actually, let me change that here because we didn't actually get a chance to talk about the events of this past weekend. So I'll move this over here and I'll do Canada Cup Masters because that did take place this weekend.
Take place.
That's right.
Do you want to get the old results out there?
Yeah, let's do that. I didn't actually find the results.
Oh, really?